Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back. And I wanted to tell a quick story about a trans woman and my experience um, with transgender women. So, the first thing I want to say is this. Once upon a time, not long ago, I was like, and once upon a time, I was transphobic. Baby, I was homophobic, okay? Anything that had to do with the L to the G to the B to the Q, okay? LGBT, LGBT, girl, I don't even know the girl. Anything that had to do with the kids, okay, with the community. You know what? I'm not about to be saying all those goddamn words. I heard they added I think now they call it LGBTQIA. Y'all doing too much. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. They talking about they want to include everybody. It's not that deep. It's not that serious. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender was fine, was good enough for me. And then y'all wanted to add Q. They said it stood for queer. Then some people said it stand for questionable. Look, bitch, either you a lesbian, either you bisexual, either you goddamn transgender, or either you goddamn LG or gay. Y'all get what I'm trying to say. All them extra letters, I'm not saying all that. From here on out, I'm saying the community. Okay? The community. And it is what it is. By the time we look up, we might as well just say the whole fucking alphabet. Shit. The fuck? Girl, the A, the B's, the C's, the D's, the E's, the L. Girl, no. So anyways, once upon a time I was transphobic. I was also homophobic. I was one of those gays who, because I didn't know how to deal with my own sexuality and I hadn't been taught, I didn't grow up in a household where people were like my grandmother or my family said the word faggot. I've never heard my uncle, my cousin, I never heard my uncles, my cousin, my mama, girl, my stepdaddy, my sisters, my brothers. Me and my brother but that was when I was grown, girl. Me and my brother got into it. He tried to call me a faggot online, girl. And my sister got mad. I said, girl, what you get mad for, girl? And she got so mad because he called me a faggot. Girl, now, mind you, he flaming, okay? And he calling me a faggot. Here. Anyways, but growing up, I've never heard. I can honestly say that within my family, even though they didn't make me feel comfortable being gay, and I know they know that they knew that I was gay. My grandmother told me she knew I was gay since I was in middle school. She was late, huh? She was late to the party, bitch. But they never made me feel uncomfortable. They never said anything mean around me. I never heard them use the word faggot. The most I ever heard, God to honest truth, the most I ever heard was my grandmother was talking to some of her friends. I was ear hustling, and I heard her say, she was talking about this guy. I'm not going to say his name. He's older. He's like in his 40s now. Fine as hell. I follow him on Facebook and Instagram, I believe. We grew up in the same town. And there was a rumor going around about him being gay. And to this day, that boy has still not come out the closet. I don't know why. That boy is gay as day. Gay as day, bitch. Okay? I always put this on too tight. Damn. But anyways, I remember hearing her say, yeah, you know that boy, he's supposed to be on a down low. That's the most I ever heard her say. That's why when I sit back and think about it, anyways. So, I was transphobic and homophobic. But with that being said, I was never one of those people who disrespected people. You see what I'm saying? Maybe I was scary. I don't know. But I never was a disrespectful person. It's to your face anyways, okay? Now, I dog your ass out when you walked out the building. That's why I don't get when I hear these stories or I hear these people online, see this stuff on the Shade Room and Hollywood Unlocked, and if your mama call you Clay, I'ma call you Clay, or I ain't gonna refer to no man as no woman. Like, honestly speaking, if you know that someone is a transgender woman or a transgender man, what is it going to do to you to refer to them as the sex they want to be referred to? How is it going to ruin your day? How is it going to fuck up your week by saying, hey Ashley, how you doing, girl? Hey Kevin, how you doing? What's your name, Tiffany? Hey Tiffany, nice to meet you. How is it you referring to them by the name that they want you to refer to them by? How is that fucking up your day? And why is it fucking up your day? Why do you feel like it's okay to be disrespectful and mean to people because you don't agree with the choices or the route that they decided to take with their life? When I used to work at Ace Cash Express, a lot of the transgender girls used to come. I used to work at the Ace Cash Express on Richmond and South Shepherd, right up the street from the Montrose area. And a lot of the girls used to come in there all the time, putting money on their net spend cards, more than likely from sex work. And even though I didn't get it, I didn't understand it, I knew at the time that these girls were transgender girls. I never was disrespectful to anybody. Never. Not one person, not one transgender woman who came in my store and was loading money on their cards or getting a money order or taking care of whatever business they needed to take care of can ever say that Rodney was disrespectful. I'm not a disrespectful person. I might be a little bit messy, bitch. I might cuss your black ass out every now and again, but I've never been disrespectful, okay? I might be moody, but I was never disrespectful to not one person that walked in that store. At least not to their face, okay? So all I'm saying, like, I don't get how why do people it's like you refuse to just say, you know what? Even if you don't believe, and I believe, I'm not saying this to be politically correct. I'm not saying this because this is a nice thing to say. I'm saying that if you are a transgender woman, you are a woman to me. I know people will get into the whole what science says and XYZs and ABCs and chromosomes and all that stuff. I get that. But in my heart of hearts, I really and truly do believe that if a trans woman is a woman. That's what I'm saying. That's just what I believe. That's what I believe now. I don't know what path I took to get to that for me, but it just is what it is for me. Like, I look at trans men as men. I'm attracted to trans men. But I know there's a difference between me and the Malik Yobas. And the difference is because most people consider all of us punks and faggots, that it's not a big deal that, oh, Roddy is attracted to a trans man. They all punks and faggots anyways. You see what I'm saying? But when it's somebody who identifies as a straight man who says, I'm attracted to a trans woman, it's, oh my God, he can't be straight because he's fucking with a man. You see? So, I get the hatred, and I think that my hatred probably came from the fact that I was dealing with my sexuality and I didn't know how to deal with it. So I was like, fuck everybody and everything else. I remember when I met one of my first best friends. We're not as close as we used to be. We didn't fall out. We actually were messaging each other a few months ago, and I was telling her how we needed to hit the restart button on our friendship because she was my very first friend. She was a lesbian. And this is when I was working at Telecheck. And I remember when she was fish. So I didn't know she was a lesbian. I remember when I first found out she was a lesbian, baby, I started backing away from our friendship. I did not want to be friends with anybody that was a lesbian, anybody that was gay, and I damn sure wasn't going to be your friend if you was a tranny. That's how I looked at it back then. So mind you, me and my friend, her name is Brittany. Her name is Brittany too. Ain't that girl? I know a lot of Brittany's, girl. So I remember when I first met Brittany at Telecheck, we were cool, having a good time, and then when I found out she was a lesbian, I was like, Like, I started pushing away from the friendship, and she saw that I was. She saw that I wasn't trying to be her friend anymore. And baby, that bitch will not let me stop being her friend. So So it's just like I was one of those people. Like I didn't want to have any. I didn't want to have nothing to do with the punks, the trannies, the dykes. I didn't want to have nothing to do with none of that, bitch. I was trying my hardest to distance myself from anything that had to do with the community, girl. And then one day I was just like, I'm tired. You literally, and then when the whole suicide thing happened and suicidal thoughts happened, it's just like you get tired. It's like I literally got tired. I'm like, I'm tired. Like, I'm so tired. And even when I was still, like, going to the gay clubs, I was still ducking and dodging. Still ducking and dodging, trying to make sure that nobody found out I was at the punk club, okay? You know what I'm saying? Girl, you was at the girl, I was at home last night. What you do last night, girl? I was at the house watching TV, knowing damn well I was all at the motherfucking... Oh, yeah, dude, yeah. Okay, girl, enjoying my motherfucking... Excuse me, enjoying my life. Anyway, child, I remember one time. Girl, so I'm at work at Ace Cash Express. And it was this trans woman who used to come into the store. And she had a jerry curl. And she used to always wear a tiara all the time. And I used to see her on the bus too. So how it used to be is if you were receiving like a government check, you're not supposed, from what I remember, I can't remember all the way, but I think what it was if you're cashing a government check, you had to have a valid government ID. You see what I'm saying? You couldn't really use it like a school ID or anything like that. And I remember she used to come into the store all the time, and no one would ever cash her check. And so I started cashing her check. She had a ride Metro bus pass, and the bus pass had her picture on it and her name. It didn't have her name. It had a male name. Or did it have a male? It did. It had her. It did. Everything matched. No, it did. I just told a lie. Her check had her name. Her ID had the check had a man name. The ID had a man name, but she told me the name that she goes by. And the ID had her picture on it. But because it's not a government ID, you're not supposed to cash your checks. So nobody would cash her checks. So I told her I would cash her checks. I told her, girl, you can only if you don't see me at work, do not come, just turn around and you're going to have to wait till the next day. You're going to have to wait till the next day. Cool. She said cool. So she used to come every month, cash her little checks. Hey girl, like I said, I never was a disrespectful person. Even though I didn't understand it, even though I didn't get it, even though I thought the shit was crazy. Bitch, you talking about you a woman? What? Girl, girl, get out my face. I never was a disrespectful person. Even trying to go the extra step to help somebody out because I thought that was the right thing to do. And I knew, like, oh, it made me want to cry. Oh my God, I'm about to cry. Oh, fuck. Oprah said when you about to cry, you're supposed to look up to the earth. You're supposed to look up. That shit don't work. So even though I was fucked up and being mean in my head, I always knew that, like, you just can't treat, like, you know how, like, you have those different those different thoughts in your head, like, you can't treat people like shit. People are going through shit. And so I used to cash her check. And so one day I'm off. Anybody who goes into Ace Cash Express knows that there's usually no more than 2 people. I don't know how it is now, but back in the day, it was no more than 2 people. I worked at the one on Richmond and South Shepherd. It was a busy one, and the only time that there were usually 2 people at my location, because I was a manager of the store, it was 2 people in my location on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. That's because on Thursdays, on Fridays and Saturdays. No, on Friday. I forgot. It would be 2 people in my store sometimes, but for the most part, it would be 1 person. So, girl, my phone rang. I'm like, damn, fuck, what the fuck they want? And one thing I hated about Ace Cash Express is, like, if somebody called into work, bitch, you had to go to work, okay? If they couldn't find somebody to go open up your store, you had to go to work. I remember one time we had a meeting. This is how ignorant I used to be back in the day, bitch. One day we had a meeting, and it was everybody in my region. And I remember telling this one girl told everybody in that meeting, Rodney said that he don't want nobody working his store if you got kids. I did say that. One day I told this girl, I'm tired of y'all hoes working if you got kids, I don't want you working my store. Because every time I look up, it's something going on with one of them motherfuckers. My kid, he just got kicked out of school. My child is sick. They just called me because he needs to leave. Girl, what? So I got to the point, I was like, if you got kids, I don't even want you working my store. Anyway, that girl told everybody in that. When I tell you, bitch, everybody looked at me like, no, this motherfucker did. I just sit there like, okay. Anyway, so I'm at home one day. And so what happens is, whenever people, like you have check cashing limits. So like, when you're new, like your check cashing limit is really, really low. So what happens is you have to call and get, I forgot what they were called. Basically, you have to get like a code. You have to call and get a code from somebody who has a higher check cashing limit than you. Usually people call like the district manager, but if the district manager is busy, you can call other store locations to get a code. But it's easier just to call the district manager because, like, for example, if my check cashing limit was like $10,000, like if I called somebody and was like, hey girl, I see somebody here trying to cash a $8,000 check, can you give me a code? They're not gonna want to give you a code because if the check comes back as fraudulent, bitch, they can get in trouble too. So it's always better just to call either the store manager, because when you call another store, you have to make copies of the check, make copies of the ID, fax it over, wait for them to check everything. You see what I'm saying? So it turns into this whole 15-20 minute process. And then if they're at a busy store, or if they're busy, bitch, you can turn into like an hour or two just for you to cash one check. So anyway, she called me. She was like, I'm like, girl, I see the phone. I'm like, what the fuck this bitch want? So I'm like, I know this bitch ain't trying to go home. Because that meant I was going to have to go to work. So she was like, Rodney, I was like, hey, what's up? You know, she was like, it's this, she didn't even know what to, she didn't even, it's someone here right now, and they're wanting to cash a check, and they're trying to cash a government check, but they don't have a valid government ID, and they said that you always cash it. When she said, that's all, I already knew who it was. I already knew who the bitch was. I wanted to, I said, if I lose my motherfucking job, when I see that bitch, we are going to tear up that street. I said, no. I said, you're not supposed to cash a government check. I said, tell her that she can come back tomorrow and I can see what I can do, but tell her that you're not supposed to cash a government check. You're doing it the right way. She was like, okay, thank you. Girl. This bitch done called corporate and everything. Because the girl didn't want to cash her check. Now, mind you, I done told this hoe not to come back to this store. If you don't see me in the store, bitch, turn your ass around. Because I'm not supposed to be cashing your check anyways. This bitch done called corporate and everything. Go there and call my district manager. Girl, the district manager. Rodney, have you been cashing checks? Have you been cashing checks without a valid government ID? Oh, yes, I was trying to help somebody out. Okay, cool. Don't do it again. Cool. Bitch, you done fucked up. So I go to work. This bitch come back the next day. Because my manager actually called me while I was at home. Because she started causing a scene in front of the girl. Basically, they told me that the girl called the district manager and then all that stuff, that he called corporate, then they called my man. It was this big mess, basically. So I go back to work the next day. And this bitch come in. And I'm pissed off when I see this raggedy asshole. I'm pissed. Because, bitch, I could have lost my job trying to help you out, you raggedy asshole. So she come in. I'm sitting there. Good morning. How are you? How can I help you? I need to cash my check. I said, you know I can't cash your check. I said, I told you not to come into this store if I'm not here. Why would you come in here? And while I'm talking, bitch, she slide a note underneath the glass. Because you know the glass is only about this thick. She slide a note underneath the glass while I'm going off. This bitch done wrote on a piece of paper, if you don't cash my check, I'm going to slice my throat. I I said, no, this bitch not gonna pull this stunt on me, bitch. I looked at her. I said, girl, are you for real? I remember saying, girl, are you for real? She was like, yes. Okay. I said, I thought my phone had stopped. I said, okay, hold on. I said, let me see what I can do. So I said, let me go in the back and get I made some lie up to go to the back. So I go to the back. I call my manager. I'm like, look. I said, the person who you called me about cashing the government check without a valid government ID, they're back and they just told me that if I didn't cash their check, they was gonna slice their throat. My manager bust out. At this time I had a white manager. He bust out laughing. He said, call the cops. So I called the cops. I don't think I dialed 911. We had, like you don't call 911. I called another number. Did I call? I forgot. I called the cops. I'm like, look, I'm at Ace Cash Express. Gave them the address. It's somebody here talking about they're gonna slice their throat if I don't cash their check. Girl, bitch. This is the good thing about working in a white area. Bitch, them cops, bitch. Bitch, them cops got there so fast. I was like, hold on, I'm waiting on something. I said, just have a seat. This bitch she just sit down. Bitch, why the cops came? That bitch looked at me. Girl, get out of my store. Girl, get out of my motherfucking store. Because, bitch, I told your black ass how we was going to do this. And because you want to be hard-headed, because you can't wait one day until I get my black ass back to work, now ain't nobody going to cash your check. Because you're not going nowhere else, because I was the one who was doing you a favor. Because nobody else was doing it. That's why you finally was probably happy when I brought my black gay ass in this. So even though I was still claiming I was straight, when you saw I was black and gay, and I finally bent over trying to do you a favor. Girl, why I end up seeing that bitch on the bus? So I get on the 25. The 25 used to go right down Richmond. It still go down Richmond. Bitch, so I'm leaving my school. You lock everything up, trying to hurry up. Girl, get out the stuff. Bitch, I'm sitting at the bus stop. Child. Girl, I get on the bus. It's like a few weeks later. 2 or 3 weeks, I can't remember. It was later. Bitch, why that bitch sitting on the bus? Why that bitch look at me? I looked at her. I said, this bitch better not say nothing to me. Because at that point, we was probably about the same size. So we would have tore that bus up, bitch. She ain't said, I just went to the very back of the bus. I went to the very back of the bus so I could see that hoe. I wasn't going to sit in front of that bitch, okay? I went to the very back of the bus, and then she ended up getting off a couple of stops, and I never saw her again after that. I wonder how she doing. I hope she doing all right. Hey, girl, if you watch my videos, girl, that was real fucked up what you did, bitch. You almost made me lose my job or trying to help your raggedy ass out. Anyway, child, that's all I had to say about that, child. All right, child, I'm really about to go to sleep. I said I was going to talk about Wendy Williams. What time is it? Okay, I got about 20 minutes. We're going to talk about Wendy Williams, and I'm really going to bed. All right, y'all. That's all I had to say. At the end, in conclusion, treat people with kindness. Treat people with respect. Just because you don't necessarily agree with something don't mean you got to be an asshole. Don't mean you got to be mean. That's all it comes down to. Even if you believe that it is a man in a wig, what does that have to do with you being mean and disrespectful? You can believe in what you want to believe in. But to just deliberately go out of the way to disrespect somebody or to be mean, how is it going to make your day any better, girl? Sir. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, bye, y'all.